Replacing humans with AI completely backfired. That sounds amazing. Clap it up. We did it, y'all. We did it. Oh, man, bro. AI's, bro. This whole rise of AI shit, like, at first it's like, you look at it and it's like, you know what? It's actually kind of cool. Like, you know, AI being able to, like, you know, solve cancer and that kind of shit. That shit actually seems cool. I think AI is a great tool. I do not think AI should be used as a replacement of humans. You know what I mean? You know, that just fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't agree with that. That's I'm against AI. You know what I'm saying? But I'm supportive of it in a way where it's like, if it's used as a tool, that's it. But let's see what's going on. Apparently, this shit is backfiring. This AI bubble is going to burst, like all bubbles burst, and it's gonna be bad, bro.
According to MIT, 95% of corporate AI projects have failed to replace human labor, with even the most powerful models automating
poor
less than 3%
them, poor companies, poor them, fucking prick.
of human tasks. And while over half of all employers now regret AI-driven layoffs, nearly 75% of the S&P 500's growth has been driven entirely by AI speculation. Raising the
Fucking
question,
dumbass.
will we once again be forced to bail out enormous amounts of corporate greed? While the United States continues to enter periods of severe financial speculation, largely because the consequences are never paid by those responsible, this artificial intelligence boom is once again proving that while history may not...
Bro, we need to tax the fuck out the billionaire class, bro. You can't just... Bro, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just... Bro, I'm gonna be honest. I believe that billionaires should not exist, bro. Genuinely.
repeat, it always finds a way to rhyme, with an emerging AI winter eerily mirroring those of the past. Just
Okay.
years prior to the historic dot-com boom and bust, the United States was already experiencing a full-blown artificial intelligence frenzy driven by geopolitical competition with Japan. Throughout the late 1970s and early 80s, Japan rapidly consolidated dominance across semiconductors, consumer electronics, and precision manufacturing, culminating in a
Nice.
decade-long government-backed effort to build machines capable of using artificial intelligence to reason, communicate, and respond to spoken language. Known as a fifth-generation computer systems program, the initiative was frequently compared to the American drive to land a man on the moon, with the explicit goal of overtaking U.S. computing technology. And as American economists openly predicted that Japan would surpass the United States as the world's leading economic power by the year 2000, U.S. policymakers and corporate leadership increasingly framed artificial intelligence as the decisive pillar of economic survival and global influence. This culminated in the national expansion of the expert system, an intelligent computer program designed to use encoded knowledge and inference rules to solve problems that would typically require the judgment of leading experts within an industry. As the federal government poured hundreds of millions of dollars into these systems, while also encouraging corporate rivals to work together under the banner of national security. In traditional corporate fashion,
Yeah, under the banner of national
the
security.
exact opposite occurred. Rather than grounding artificial intelligence in what existing hardware, data, and logic systems could realistically support, firms raced to signal relevance through prototypes, pilot programs, and inflated expectations, with headlines even claiming that a single expert system could replace the work of 10 specialists. In reality, these systems could only automate extremely narrow tasks, such as screening loan applications or flagging routine decisions, and routinely failed when confronted with real-world complexity. This most famously occurred when a medical expert system claimed that a male patient's infection had been caused by a procedure performed exclusively on pregnant women, simply because researchers failed to include a rule accounting for gender. And as Japan's fifth-generation computer systems program ultimately failed, while expert systems began creating more problems than they solved, jobs were lost, taxpayer funds were wasted, and the American workforce was forced to pick up the pieces of yet another broken hype cycle. Today, while Japan has since been replaced by China as the nation's boogeyman, hundreds of thousands of lives have once again been uprooted under the language of national security and productivity, as artificial intelligence is used to justify workforce reductions long before it has demonstrated any ability
what the fuck, bro?
To reliably replace human labor.
Oh my gosh, look, the Dow. The Dow was 50,000, guys. Look, that's so important, y'all.
To test whether artificial intelligence can actually automate human labor at scale, researchers from the Center for AI Safety and Scale AI released what is known as the Remote Labor Index. In the test, state-of-the-art models built by companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google were tasked with completing the same work currently performed by paid human workers under identical expectations of quality, accuracy, and consistency. The results show that even the best performing model achieves an automation rate of just 3.75%.
Fucking dumbass niggas. Yeah, you thought, bro, these fucking weirdo billionaire elites, they want to create their fucking, they want to replace humans with robot and all that. Get your dumb ass out of here, bro. Fucking dumbass companies. And then you lost money. And you're like, what the these people are so fucking stupid.
The Gemini falling below 1%. And this widening gap between hype and automation is not limited to white-collar work. As fast food chains have pushed to aggressively replace minimum wage workers, as if that's the primary driver for rising costs, McDonald's quietly ended its AI drive-thru pilot after the system repeatedly failed in basic real-world conditions. Orders were miscounted, including totals as high as 260 chicken McNuggets.
Nice. I love to see that. The clinkers have fallen. The clinkers have indeed fallen.
Customers were charged for 9 iced teas instead of 1, and the system routinely placed bacon on ice cream. McDonald's also removed an AI-generated holiday advertisement following widespread backlash, later attributing the issue to its Netherlands operation, stating that the ad was intended to reflect the stressful moments during the holidays in the Netherlands. But we
What the fuck?
recognize that for many of our guests, this season is the most wonderful time of the year. In the rush to remove human drivers, Tesla launched its robotaxi service in Austin 8 months ago. At the time,
oh no, I've heard so many bad things about that shit.
Tesla promised 500 vehicles in Austin, coverage for half the US population, fully unsupervised rides, and expansion to 8 to 10 cities, all by the end of 2025. Today, the service operates roughly 42 cars in Austin. Availability remains below 20%, and unsupervised operation has either been paused or quietly redefined. In some cases, with the Tesla employee sitting in a vehicle behind the robotaxi to monitor its behavior. And while it may not be a perfect one-to-one comparison, the robotaxi is currently crashing at roughly 9.
How did I know? How did I know? How did I know? How did I know? How did I know this shit wasn't gonna fucking work? How did I know these dumbass fucking niggas? Bro, Elon, you cannot build shit, bro. Just give it up. Pass it to people who know what the fuck they're doing, bro.
9 times the rate of a human driver, while Waymo, a competing autonomous driving service, admitted during a congressional hearing that after striking a child in a school zone, its vehicles rely on overseas human operators to help make driving decisions when it becomes stumped. And while responsibility for life or death decisions is quickly being outsourced overseas, domestically, artificial intelligence is already producing unbelievably severe consequences. In 2021, a unit of Johnson & Johnson announced what it called a leap forward, adding artificial intelligence to a medical device used to assist ear, nose, and throat.
Bro, I heard about this shit, bro. I heard this shit was killing people, bro. I heard this shit was killing people and shit, bro. Also, why are we trying to rush to this fucking era of insane AI? Nigga, slow the fuck down, bro. But I don't know, bro.
Surgeons during operations. Prior to the AI update, the FDA had received unconfirmed reports of 7 device malfunctions and 1 patient injury. After artificial intelligence was added, the FDA received reports of at least 100 malfunctions and adverse events. Most involved the system misinforming surgeons about the location of their instruments while operating inside patients' heads. In one case, cerebral spinal fluid leaked from a patient's nose. In another, a surgeon punctured the base of a patient's skull. In 2 additional cases, patients reportedly suffered strokes after major arteries were accidentally damaged. And this is not even remotely close to an isolated failure. More than 1,357.
Look, guys, the Dow is going up. Look, the Dow. Look, guys, look at the Dow. The Dow's going up. But guys, look.
AI-enabled medical devices
I keep on doing that.
are now authorized by the FDA, double the number approved in 2022. The agency has since received reports involving dozens of other AI-enhanced tools, including a heart monitor that allegedly failed to detect abnormal heartbeats, an ultrasound device that misidentified fetal body parts, and an AI-enhanced
what the fuck
stethoscope
that shit can't do nothing right.
Incorrectly flagged heart failure in nearly 2/3 of more than 12,000 patients.
Oh,
At the same
wow.
time, large language model chatbots designed to provide medical guidance have demonstrated widespread hallucinations, while experts warn that clinicians are already losing the ability to
AI making brain cancer diagnosis faster than before.
independently identify cancers and scans due to growing reliance on AI-powered detection systems. And while I could spend this entire video demonstrating all of the ways that AI has failed to deliver on its promises, let's instead discuss all of the ways that AI has actually succeeded.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence has successfully become the most...
To me, it's just like, I don't think we're ready to be having AI and all that shit. You know, we're not ready for that. First of all, you got to create new jobs for people. 1, 2, you know what I mean? Like if it's not ready, then you know what I mean? Like it just need, you know, the AI shit might need a few more decades of tweaking. That's all I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like
effective blanket justification for the mass replacement of American jobs. Companies like Amazon cut roughly 14,000 employees in 2025 and announced plans to eliminate another 16,000 roles attributed to AI, with Senior Vice President Beth Coletti calling it the most transformative
Jeff Bezos trying to save money, bro. Like, go fuck yourself.
We've seen since the internet. At the same time, Amazon ranked numbers 1, 11, 24, and 49 among the top 100 companies approved for H-1B workers, totaling 14,365 new hires, more than the number of official layoffs in 2025, and is already on pace to exceed that figure this year. Microsoft made roughly 6,000 H-1B hires during the same period it cut 10,000 American workers. Meta, after publicly restructuring around AI, quietly replaced its assistant M with a human-assisted version monitored by overseas contractors. Amazon even operates an entire division called Mechanical Turk, where thousands of freelancers train and operate AI systems through direct human labor, a name borrowed from the 18th century chess machine that appeared automated while secretly being controlled by a man hidden inside. And in this pursuit of supposed AI-driven productivity, more than 1 million workers have been laid off, with October marking the worst month for job cuts since 2003, and 2026 beginning with the highest levels of layoffs since the Great Recession. Which brings us to the second and arguably more pressing victory for artificial intelligence: its successful capture of federal policymaking. According to fiscal data from the US Treasury, the federal deficit has already reached $697 billion and is projected to grow to $1.85 trillion this year. National debt is now expected to rise from roughly $34 trillion to over $55 trillion by 2035.
This country is so cooked, bro. This country is so fucking cooked. Did you just say 55 trillion in the next 10 years? I genuinely believe that this country is not going to last another 5 years. There's no fucking way.
A 62% increase, marking the highest level of sovereign debt ever recorded. And with productivity growth stagnating, manufacturing hollowed out, the dollar weakening, and household consumption increasingly sustained by credit, the only remaining way for the United States to maintain the appearance of global dominance is through the illusion of growth. And right now, that illusion is being carried almost entirely by artificial intelligence. A September 2025
It's that AI bubble, bro, that we talking about, bro. That shit gonna burst. All these dumbass niggas, they think that this shit gonna work. It's not gonna fucking work.
Analysis from Deutsche Bank warned that without AI-related investment, the US economy would already be in a technical recession, or for the first time in American history, corporate spending on AI has outpaced consumer spending as a primary driver of GDP growth. Even Elon Musk admitted on the Joe Rogan Experience that the only way to get us out of this debt crisis and prevent America from going bankrupt is AI and robotics, adding that if artificial intelligence fails to at least double national productivity, we're toast. With that expectation set, unlike the 1980s,
not even stealing everybody's fucking jobs, you idiot.
When the US government cut
what the
losses
fuck?
of taxpayer funds tied to its early AI ambitions, policymakers today are going all in, betting that artificial intelligence can correct decades of economic mismanagement. In 2024, nearly 75% of all gains in the S&P 500 were driven by just 7 companies, all tied directly to artificial intelligence. NVIDIA,
man, bro.
Microsoft,
I just don't see this AI shit ending well, bro. This shit, I don't think we're ready for that, bro.
Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, and Tesla now make up more than 1/3 of the entire index, marking the most concentrated share in U.S. market history, with the hope of eventual profitability already projected to require nearly $2 trillion in additional spending by 2030, a sum larger than the combined annual earnings of the
God,
entire
bro.
S&P 500 tech sector.
This shit is not
Meanwhile,
gonna fucking work. I'm telling
Americans
y'all,
are more
this is not
exposed
gonna
to this
end
risk
well.
than at any point in history. Data from the Federal Reserve shows that direct and indirect stock holdings, including mutual funds and retirement accounts, now represent 45% of all household financial assets, the highest share ever recorded, meaning that tens of trillions of dollars in savings, 401ks, and retirement plans are now tied not to what AI is today, but to what the nation is hoping it will eventually become.
Hoping. Like, you can't, like, bro, this country is cooked, bro. You cannot fix this country. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna work, bro. This country is cooked, bro. Any second, all this shit's gonna go away, bro. Like, literally any second. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know, bro. It's only a matter of time, bro. It's just, this economy is literally a ticking time bomb. This country is a ticking time bomb. And that shit is going to implode, bro.
Highlighting that if artificial intelligence companies need the government to appear tough on H-1B visas to mask widespread displacement, well, so be it. If those same companies need to quietly walk back their automation claims and announce selective rehiring, then another historic annual job revision will suffice. If powering multi-billion-dollar data centers requires more land, more energy, and more infrastructure, the cost can simply be shifted onto local residents. And if those companies ultimately need to be bailed out, then, as always, it will be framed as a necessity, funded by taxpayer dollars, proving that while replacing humans with AI is going terribly wrong by our metrics, the only real ramifications will once again be paid by the American workforce.
Like, at some level, when something gets sufficiently huge, whether or not they are on paper, the federal government is kind of the insurer of last resort, as we've seen in various financial crises and insurance companies screwing things up. So I guess, given the magnitude of what I expect AI economic impact to look like, sort of, I do think the government ends up as like the insurer of last resort.
And so what I hope that we're beginning to recognize is that this national pursuit of AI actually has far less to do with automating human workers, at least as of right now, and far more to do with providing this massive blanket statement that removes any form of accountability. What we are witnessing is these individuals that have billions and billions and billions of dollars.
I mean, they could easily pay that shit themselves, but they don't want to. They want to hold all their wealth, and then they want to tell you to work a little harder, or it's gonna trickle down. The wealth's gonna trickle down. That's not how it fucking. These people, they're so fucking stupid.
The most power that we can imagine.
So
and they're
fucking
kind of fitting
stupid.
into these two different camps. One of them is saying AI is growing at a rate that we couldn't even imagine. It's scary, and there's going to be an apocalypse, and there will be no white collar workers, and you should be scared, and you should, blah, blah, blah. But the way that you could save yourself is by using our product and spending $20 a month. Now, on the other side is you have this thing that I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it's almost like this new wave of there's going to be a utopia. Don't be scared of AI. Everything's going to work out great. There's going to be so much prosperity that, like Elon Musk said, you don't even need to save for retirement. Why put any money into your 401k? Just spend the money now. It's going to be perfect. And if it's not, then it's going to be horrible. And so what that ultimately does is that you either say, okay, I'll give you my money and I'll use your product, or I'll give you every ounce of power and autonomy and privacy that I have, because I guess you have the ability to give me prosperity.
Which they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. So
at the end of the day,
they're not going to do that.
It isn't designed for us.
It's not.
Well, you can recognize within your own life. With every action that we do, there are consequences. You can decide, ultimately, I'm still going to do it, or I'm not going to. If I eat this massive bag of candy and cookies and cake, and I drink soda and all these different things, I most likely will have a stomach ache. If I go to bed early, I will most likely feel better in the morning. If I go and work out, I will most likely feel more healthy. In an entrepreneurial sense, if I build X, it's going to help solve Y. If I build X, it's going to make Y even faster, even better. There's an end result in mind. I have yet to hear of a collective, decisive understanding of what AI is actually supposed to do for us.
It's supposed to replace us. That's my theory. It's supposed to replace us. You know what I mean? Like, it's to keep us down. It's to keep us poor and to keep the people at the top rich. You know what I mean? Because they've all view us as second-class American, regardless of what race or gender you are. They view us as subhuman. You know what I mean? And like, not everybody can be a billionaire, bro. I'm sorry. That's not how that works, right? Like, everybody got to eat, bro. For a country to thrive, everybody has to eat. But the problem is that these people, they're extremely fucking retarded. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just winging it in hopes that something works. That's what they're doing.
These CEOs and public figures,
they don't know what they're doing.
Have no idea.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. You even have Sam
Altman saying that whenever ChatGPT comes to, God tier or whatever, that they're going to ask ChatGPT.
They're trying to create a god with AI, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
How do we make this a profitable business model?
The fuck?
That's like the most insane thing that I have ever heard. What I'm really just kind of trying to do is I'm really just trying to put into perspective that if you do not have the end goal in mind, that it is unbelievably obvious. If you are not prioritizing making homes affordable right now, improving the dollar right now, allowing more small business.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're hoping they don't know what they're doing. They think that somebody's gonna come and they're gonna save us, and that's not how that works, bro. You either come up with a solution or you move the fuck aside. And you pay for the damages.
Just to thrive right now, giving college graduates entry-level jobs, making the job market more robust. Providing more fair wages, all of these many things.
Creating a better environment. Like,
if you aren't doing that to fix it right now, you aren't actually building the bridge with artificial intelligence to get us to that destination.
That's the point, though. It's one big club of people, and you're just not invited. It's literally that. It's just for the top 1%. They don't care about you. That's the problem. They don't have an end goal. One, because they're retarded, and two, they don't want to let go. They don't want to let go of power. They don't want to do it. They know what they're doing is not working. They know people are upset. They know people are struggling. They know people are getting more and more mad. More people are connecting dots. But I don't know. They're out of touch with reality. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're retarded. They're stupid. They're just dumb.
Building it to provide, an improved
they're corrupted.
Bottom line. To have investors thrive. It's going to come at the cost of your autonomy and your power and your privacy. And at the end of the day, you might get lucky enough and you might have a crumb thrown your way.
Yeah, but
I'm.
But it's just designed to keep you down. That's what it is, and to keep them at the top. To keep if you have all the money in the world, in the country, right? You have all the power, essentially. Like, that is what this is, though. That's the reality. Like, they don't view us as human. They view us as subhuman. They want to replace us with AI, and it's not working, so they're panicking. They're winging it. They're just throwing out ideas, hoping that something turns this country around. That's what they're doing, bro. That's what the fuck they're doing. That's exactly what this is.
At least as of right now, maybe I'm cynical. I'm just not seeing what the real intention of all of this is. And if it doesn't work out, I'm sorry to say it, I see no signs that the bill isn't going to be pushed our way. I think it kind of has to be. The government kind of has to bail it out. Yeah. And so, that makes our lives even worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they understand that. If you paint everything as a state of national emergency, the federal government, as blind as they are, and with their pockets being lined as much as they are, you just kind of throw as much money their way as possible. At the end of the day, that's our money.
They're trying to. They made it so that there is no middle class. They're destroying the middle class. This is what they're doing. They're doing it on purpose. They're doing it to keep you down because they're a bunch of sex trafficking, murder, graping PDF files, bro, and they don't want the Epstein files to get out. That is what this whole shit is. That is why this is happening, bro. They want to be the ones to turn the country around. They think that they know better than us because they're billionaires. When the reality is that they're fucking retarded.
So I think that,
and so they end up just scamming people because that's all they're good at. That is what it is.
It is absolutely true. AI is not working.
And like it like and the thing is too is like, and people have to keep this in mind, it's like they're hoping that someone's gonna come around and fix all the problems, but it's never gonna come, and they know that. So they're just stealing as much wealth as they can before this shit comes crashing down, bro. That's exactly what the fuck this is, bro.
In the corporate environment right now. And there are certainly some use cases that it is thriving in. I really am just kind of trying to provide this alternative discussion of, we have to begin looking at, what is the actual use case for this? What are they actually trying to push for? I think that what really matters is how narratives are being controlled. AI is unfortunately this like
these billionaires are buying up all the social media apps. They're buying out all the news outlet and shit, bro. Why do you think they're doing that? Like they're like that's what this shit is for, bro. They control the government. They don't want to be the ones to be they don't want to be the ones to pay for their crimes. They don't want to pay for their crimes. You know what I mean? They'd rather let everybody die than before they have to deal with the consequences before. That's just what it is, bro. They just don't care, bro. And they're retarded.
Statement
like, it's just that simple.
Not only removes accountability, it also provides distraction. And
it's a distraction, but it's to distract you from the fact that this country is dying. It's to distract you from the fact that this is an empire in decline, and there's no way of fixing it. You cannot fix this country. The debt is just going to keep going up and up and up. The country is broken because we put, because all of our politicians, they sold themselves out to the billionaire class, and they don't want to let go of their power. Because if they let go of their power, well, then they'll get the death penalty. They'll get, Epstein and all that shit. That is it. That's all this is, bro. It's to keep you down, to keep you poor, it's to keep you thinking that you're not, you know what I mean? That one day you're gonna make it if you just work hard enough. That is what this is, bro.
And it doesn't allow, I think, information to be able to come through. I personally get it a lot myself. I see a ton of comments that say, can't trust this guy, he's just AI. Another AI generated video, more AI slop. You can tell his video or his background isn't real. Like this is real. This background, I am a real person. But when you start,
those aren't real people. Those are mentally ill, fucking retarded people.
Having comments,
don't worry about them.
And tons of people are liking it, or it's just bots. Who knows?
It's bots for sure. It's bots, you guys. It's bots. This is how they control the narrative. Why do you think they deploy bots to make it seem like nobody cares about the problems with this country? That's what they do. Most people are like you and I. We see through the bullshit. You know what I mean? But they want you to think that you're powerless. That is what this is. That is all this is. So they buy bots. They put them out. They make it seem like that whole TPUSA shit at the Super Bowl, the fucking show. You really think 19 million people watch that shit? No, nobody watched that shit, bro. It's just, bro, they're trying to control the narrative, and it's not working. It's failing, and this country continues to go in decline because more and more people are facing, are being directly affected by the mistakes that this country has made in the past 150 fucking years. That's just a fucking reality, bro.
It plants a seed of, maybe I can't trust this. And let me adjust this light here real quick. And when people start to think, well, maybe I can't trust what's going on, well, you kind of start to dissociate, and you start to remove yourself, and you start to just kind of say, what is it that I can even do? I'm just going to give the power to these corporations, and let's just see what happens. We can't let that happen.
Yeah, you can't do that,
I think one
bro.
of the massive accomplishments that we are seeing is that channels like myself or channels like mine and other channels similar, we were discussing how AI-driven layoffs actually had nothing to do with AI far before I saw any massive headlines from like CNBC or CBS. I was able to get Dr. Ron Hira, the leading expert on H-1B replacement and American outsourcing. That is a massive accomplishment. Myself and others like me have been able to allow millions of other people to get a sense of what is actually going on. And I think that's what's allowed us to control the narrative more than I think they thought they'd be able to.
Exactly.
I think that's why it's kind of having to be rolled back a little bit quicker than they might have imagined.
Yeah, because they realize how fucking stupid they are. They're not smart.
And so
they're not...
if they keep trying to pivot, or we start having these products pushed our way with it marketed as AI not included, or, you know, enjoy this coffee mug not made by AI. Well, they market it up. You want it more because it seems authentic and it seems real. It's the same thing that we have right now. We have to make sure that we say, you have to stop pushing this product. I don't want to Google something and every time it's some sort of like, not at all what I looked up. I just have yet to actually experience a platform that I regularly use that AI has now been forced onto and it actually work. It just doesn't. And so I think that we have to start holding these platforms accountable. And so ultimately, I hope that this video is able to provide some value to you. I mean, I'm really just trying to do the best that I can. I'm really trying to just paint the story that I think that we need to hear, and maybe we don't want to hear.
We're living in a country that is ran by a bunch of billionaire elites that are extremely retarded, and because of their mistakes, instead of taking accountability, you know what I mean? They put it on the people. They put it on us. You know what I mean? That's what they're just trying. They're trying to create this world where they replace us with AI. That's what this is, bro. Because they're all PDF files. They're sadists. They view us as subhuman. They think they're above us. They think they're superior because they're billionaires. Because they're the elite. That is what this is. And they're trying to. Now that this country is going, now that everybody sees the decline of this country, which I'm sorry, you guys, but this country, I don't think is gonna last another 5 years. It's just not, bro. At most 10 years. It's just not gonna last another years. And if this shit continues to keep on going, things are gonna get worse for us. Things are gonna get more expensive. It's gonna be harder to get a job. I mean, it's already bad enough where people are going to college for 4 years. They're coming out of college and they cannot find a job because all their jobs have been taken over by fucking AI. They're trying to keep you poor and keep them at the top to hide. They're trying to control us, and it's not fucking working. People aren't fucking stupid. And they're waking up to that, and that's why they build their bunkers. That's why they do all the shit that they're doing they're preparing for something, because they know something big is gonna happen. This country's gonna collapse. People are gonna see who the fucking problem are, and they know that who they are. And you know who the fuck you're the problem. They know who the problem. You all know who it is. The billionaire elites. That's what this shit is, bro. It's over. like it's over. You know, they completely compromised our government. They're compromised by foreign nations because they have blackmail on our people and our government and these billionaires because of the whole Epstein shit. That is, they're out of touch with reality. It just comes down to many things. It just, you know, they view us all as second class. It doesn't matter what race or area or country you come from here in America. You are just a subhuman. You're just subhuman to these people, and that's the fucking reality. And this shit's just cooked, man. You know, and I'm glad it backfired. I'm glad that this shit is failing, because it makes me happy. You know what I mean? But I hope you have a good breakfast, a good dinner, a good night, man. What do y'all think about this video, man? You know what I'm saying? Go down in the comments, man. Video link will be down in the description down below if you want to check out this guy's channel and everything. Love y'all, man. Peace.